talked about them on the teleconference, but just reiterate this Vandy team, like their shooters, their athleticism.
Well, Vandy's a really good team, and they're right in the midst of fighting to get an NCAA tournament berth, so we know they're going to come in here rip-roaring. I mean, I watched them on tape. They were at Auburn their last game and had them down 42 at Auburn with 7:30 to go. They're really playing well, but they have all the pieces. They're an NCAA tournament team. They have two 7-footers that start in the lineup that will both be NBA players, you know, at some point here. Damian Jones is a true 5-man, big, strong body, really, really physical, very good skill level. You know, he dunks everything around the rim, has a nice touch. And then Cornette is a great story because he's a kid whose dad played there. He was a late developer. He had no scholarship offers at the end of his senior year. He was going to go to SMU. I was listening to one of the reports and walk on. If he didn't make it, he was going to be a manager. And it's like, what? I mean, this guy grew like, you know, 3 or 4 inches since then. He's put on a lot of weight. I mean, he'll be in the NBA after his last year of college. I think he may have already graduated even. I mean, he's a great story. And their guard plays great. Ray Baldwin is on the, you know, he's on the radar of an NBA point guard for sure. They have him as a potential first rounder this year at the end of his sophomore year. They have great shooters. They run a lot of really good stuff. I mean, they really keep it spread and spaced and really make it hard on you by isolating their post. They've got a lot of different niches and little quick hitters and looks. They run a million things, as Kevin Stevens always done. Real smart kids. And then they're a great defensive team. So they're both ends. I mean, I think they lead the conference in field goal percentage defense overall. They lead the conference in 3-point field goal percentage defense. They block shots with their length. So they're a really impressive team watching them and studying them.
Looking at the Georgia loss, I mean, like you mentioned afterwards, coming off such a good performance against Arkansas, what did you see from the film? I mean, what was
They was physically imposed there well. Physically, I mean, they were knocking us, which we expected. We talked about it going in. But you know, they're a very physical team, and that's been a problem for us, is physicality of other teams. And you could see it, how they set screens, how they blocked out, how they hit you first. You know, early on, and then the other part was we really struggled to score against that zone. We'll spend, you know, we'll expect to be zoned tomorrow some by their 2-3 zones. We'll spend more than half the time working on our zone offense today, just so we get a good feel for it. And we'll be without Travis today in practice, which is unfortunate. He sprained his ankle, and he is not able to practice today, and will be a game time decision tomorrow, and I really don't have much more of a feel for it than that.
How do you recreate just, I guess, the intensity and the effort that you got during the Arkansas game last week?
You know, our guys really did a great job, and that was a great performance. And I was really feeling good about our preparation for the game going in, based on how we practiced. You know, we went really hard on Thursday, and had a good practice on Friday and a good walkthrough. I felt good about it. It was really, you know, deflating to not come out and have that same energy after actually displaying it in practice a couple of days. So it's really a tough one for me. But, you know, I think part of it is we didn't get going well offensively. I think it was mounting, because it was like 10-8 after 9 minutes in the game. I mean, both teams were struggling to score. And give them credit. You know, they broke through, and Maton was the one that kept them in there. I mean, Maton was so good along with Mann, and those two guys dominated at their end and had, I think, 46 of however many points they had. They had 2/3 of their points.
You look at Malik's last couple of games, Florida through Missouri, he really seemed to be clicking and shooting really well. The last couple since Missouri, he seemed to struggle from the field. What have you seen?
He's got to get more shots, more looks, you know, more touches. You know, I mean, like against Arkansas, see, I'm not worried about, you know, everybody's touches it when you're winning. You know, I mean, it's all about winning. But we need him to score, and we did not do a good enough job finding him against the zone in particular, which he's very, you know, that's where he has a lot of success. In the past, his teams that have tried to zone us, he's been really good in that respect. So, you know, in fairness to him, too, the last 2 games, he's been playing with a knee problem. Like, for example, he hyperextended his knee in practice probably a week ago, 10 days ago. So like the day before, maybe it was a week ago, you'd have to ask our trainer. But I know it was before, we've played 2 games since. The last 2 games he's had the knee issue. Like, she didn't practice up in the Mize, and it was before we were playing Arkansas. And even in the day before we played Georgia, he only practiced for 40 minutes because it had been acting up on him. So, hopefully, and it was, we didn't practice yesterday, we watched film, so hopefully the day off will help it some.
Do you think had he been pressing at all, do you think, after shooting so well, or is it just, as you said, not getting the ball enough to him?
Well, I thought, like, against Arkansas, when I told him this, every one of his shots, he didn't stay into a shot, and I'm big on leaving your hand up and staying into your shot. And I thought he did a better job of that in the last game, and it's something he focused on. It's got to be a consistent thing all the time for him. But I'm confident that he'll make some shots for us.
I was going to ask you about Russell Westbrook, one of the former players, having another good All-Star game last night, MVP. I know you're all proud of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredible, the kind of year he's having. He's having 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists. So he's almost averaging a triple-double. He's an incredible player, incredible competitor. And I was also watching one of my former recruits on the dunk contest, Zach Levine. I never got the opportunity to coach, but I signed him. And I could not get over how athletic those dunks were. Anybody see those dunks in the dunk contest by Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon? I mean, that was absolutely mind-boggling. Those guys could do that stuff. I mean, the Aaron Gordon one where some of those things off that, whatever that thing was, he was catching the ball off. It was just incredible. The Zach Levine's things were incredible. So, yeah, the NBA is a great thing to watch, and I'm proud of all the players that have had the opportunity to play at that level. And Russell's an incredible story because he's a self-made guy. He's done it through hard work, determination, and just constant drive. And he gets better every year. That's what's really cool, is to see players that continue to grow. And that's what I'm trying to do as a coach, is to instill that in kids about continuing to improve at all times.
What have you seen from Eric the last few games?
I thought Eric was great against Arkansas, and I thought he really did not do what he can do against Georgia. I thought the physicality really bothered him, and you could see his lack of strength was really evident in the game against their post players, but even more so, just not being physical enough, not throwing his body around, learning that, those 3.5 months that he missed was really. I wanted to redshirt him this year. We did not want to bring him up his redshirt year. It would have been long-term the best thing for him. For next year, though, it was better that he came off and is getting this experience now. And you watch the film, he's standing up, too upright and erect. He's not down low and in a stance on defense all the time. He was a 5-man in high school, and so his constant stance is like this. He's got to be down here, ready to play, and ready to move. And so he's learning that. We watched film yesterday for 2 hours, trying to learn, trying to get better.
Do you see a situation next year with the 2 centers you signed where he make him play more of a 4?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we recruited him to be a 4-man, not a 5-man. And you can see that he has that potential to do that as you look at him. You can see there's no question. But he has to be able to bend his knees and guard 4-men, because a lot of 4-men at our level, at the college level, are guards. They're wings. It's like the kid from the last game, Gino, the Mississippi kid. I mean, he's a wing starting at the 4 for him. So you got to be able to do both, guard posts and wings, when you're a 4 in college.
How do you think Fred's kind of handled the role of coming off the bench this year?
Yeah, I think it's something he's been used to, according to him. When he's been mostly coming off the bench his whole career, so I don't think it's anything new.
When you get to this point in the season, specifically for the freshmen, how do you kind of massage their egos for a group of kids who haven't lost this much in their career and then hasn't played this long physically?
Well, I don't want to massage their egos. That's for sure. I mean, this is a freshman year. I mean, and it's all new. It's all a new experience for them. They're growing as kids. I think all three of those kids have grown as players and improved. And you look at, Q, his overall game has really improved a lot, and he's still got a long way to go. He's got a lot to get better at to be the player that he's capable of. Malik, I think in particular, has improved a lot as a defensive player, and understanding how important that side of the ball is, and getting better there. And he has a lot that he's going to get better at. It's so much more his ability to grow as a player. There's a lot there. There's a lot of upside with his game. Becoming a better ball handler, being able to play much lower with the ball, continuing to improve as a defensive player. There's just so many things. And then Eric, you look at him. All three of them have a lot of room to grow and improve and get better as players. And they're learning how much difference it is. The level of intensity and how much harder you have to play at this level is so different from what you can get away with at the high school level.
With the stretch run coming up, how would you assess where this team is in its progression from when you first took over to today, as far as where you wanted them to be with your system, but also in their development?
Well, we want obviously to have won more games than where we are right now for sure, and you look at our depth issue, and it's been affecting us. We've had guys out. IJ missed different games, so our lack of depth has really been an issue from the beginning. But what I wanted to do is to start to put my imprint on this program, which is getting good kids that are good people and not having guys that are not buying in to being a good person on and off the floor and being coachable. We're building things from the ground up, and so I think we've imprinted an attitude and a work ethic and the type of kid that we're going to build this program with. And so to me, that's been the most important thing in this first year of my tenure at Mississippi State.
Any more?